Have you ever wondered who a narcissist might turn to when they can't get their usual fix of admiration? We all know narcissists love attention, but what happens when their usual sources, like their romantic partners or social circles, start to fall away? The truth might actually surprise you. The new supply is who? Well, it's not always somebody that you would expect. In today's video, we are diving into the absolutely fascinating yet fairly unsettling world of narcissistic supply. We're talking about the unexpected people a narcissist might target when they need to fill their ego tank. The need for validation doesn't always look like a dramatic love affair, so let's explore how a narc's desperation for supply can take them into some pretty uncomfortable and even toxic territory. I want to preface this with these people aren't necessarily new, but they're going to be someone who the narcissist doesn't normally go after for a dose of supply. In short, these are just odd picks that a narcissist resorts to when romantically, and maybe in a few other areas, they're kind of down and out. This list definitely gets more odd as we move along. So the new supply could be the narcissist's parents. Parents are often the first and most familiar source for a narcissist, especially if they were raised in like a narky environment themselves. A narcissist might return to their parents to reestablish dominance, seek some kind of approval, or maintain a sense of entitlement. They might demand excessive attention, exaggerate their achievements, or even guilt trip their parents into providing validation, as well as other things. The narcissist might also play the helpless little child role to get their parents to take care of them, making them feel needed. The new supply could be the narcissist's children. Narcissists will often treat their children as extensions of themselves. They might turn to their kids for supply because they can manipulate them more easily, especially if the children are dependent or very impressionable. The narcissist might assign roles to their children, like the golden child, for example, who gets the praise and adoration as long as they comply, or the scapegoat, whom they criticize to make themselves feel superior. Narcs also use their children to show off or control how others perceive them as a parent. The new supply could be the narc's recycled old flames. I want to say as well that exes are good, like not necessarily an odd pick, but when it comes to getting a hit of supply, this is even more dangerous if the ex has kids, whether they have the kids with the narcissist or not. An ex-partner, when there are children involved especially, like I say, can be a prime target. Narcs might rely on them for supply because they might have a built-in connection through the children, and they can be guilted or manipulated into providing validation. The narcissist might use the children as an excuse to stay connected, creating drama or conflict to keep their ex-partner emotionally invested. They might also try to manipulate their ex into feeling pity or guilt, anything to elicit a response that feeds the ego. The new supply could be the narc's siblings. If a narcissist feels like they've exhausted their usual sources of supply, they might turn to siblings who maybe haven't fully realized or just aren't aware of the manipulative behaviors. Siblings can be easy targets for gaslighting, manipulation, and triangulation. They might play the victim or try to be the better sibling in order to get validation and attention. They could also manipulate the family dynamic by causing rifts between siblings or playing one against the other. Are you struggling with the impact of narcissistic abuse? Traditional in-person therapy isn't the only option anymore. As a fellow survivor, I offer a flexible phone chat service where you'll be talking to someone who truly understands narcissism, not only from studying it, but surviving it as well. In a relaxed setting, our conversations will feel like we're chatting as friends rather than just a formal therapy session. I can also share practical strategies tailored to your situation if you feel you need more than just a listening ear. If you're curious, reach out anytime. My contact information is on the screen for you now, and I look forward to speaking with you. The new supply can be the narc's old friends. A narcissist might reconnect with old friends or acquaintances when they need a fresh supply. These people may have forgotten or overlooked the narcissist's manipulative side, which makes them vulnerable to being reeled back in. The narcissist could try to charm their way back into these relationships, perhaps by playing a victim or exaggerating their achievements. They might also exploit the nostalgia or the emotional history to draw out attention and admiration. The new supply could be coworkers or bosses of the narcissist. Narcs rely on people in their professional lives to get a different type of validation, particularly when they've burned bridges in their personal life. They might turn to colleagues or even supervisors who are in a position to either elevate their status or give them admiration based on their work. The narcissist might work to be the office superstar, drawing attention to their successes and downplaying their failures. They could also manipulate colleagues with praises or subtle put-downs to keep the focus on themselves. The new supply could be a completely random stranger or group of random strangers. If a narcissist finds themselves isolated, they might cast a wide net and turn to strangers for validations. New people, especially those who aren't familiar with the history. Those people can be easier to manipulate into giving attention. They, of course, are going to use social media and things like that to present an idealized version of themselves. Seek out online groups where they can be admired or praised, or even pursue short-term, surface-level friendships just to feel important again. The new supply could be a mental health professional. Narcs might even target therapists if they feel like their other sources of supply are drying up. In this case, they're obviously not seeking genuine therapeutic help, but rather a professional who will listen to them, validate their experiences, and reinforce their sense of superiority and victimhood. The narcissist might manipulate the therapist into viewing them as misunderstood or special. They might exaggerate their problems and minimize their wrongdoings to paint themselves in a more sympathetic light. So, why do narcissists choose to target these people? Narcs are masters of manipulation and will use whatever relationship or emotional connection that they can exploit to get the validation they crave. They don't care if a source of supply is unconventional. They'll exploit any vulnerability in any person they target. The reason they turn to these people when other sources are drying up comes down to things like familiarity. Parents, friends, kids, they know they can manipulate these relationships. And maybe they've already done it in the past. Things like dependence. Family members, especially children, might feel obligated to provide supply due to guilt or an emotional bond. Of course, easy access. Narcs are always going to take the path of least resistance. New acquaintances or old friends might not recognize the behavior, and that makes things a little bit easier for them. They can more easily manipulate people. And of course, control. Narcs often seek to control those closest to them. So these relationships can really be prime targets when they need to reflect their importance. They really need that boost. I couldn't control my relationship. I couldn't control this or that, but I'm going to call mom or dad, brother, sister, and I'm going to control what I can. So as you can see, narcissists will stop at nothing to feed their need for validation, even if it means turning to the most unexpected sources, whether it's a parent, child, or even an old acquaintance. The people they target are often those who are emotionally invested and or easy to manipulate. The bottom line here, narcissistic supply doesn't always come in the form of a romantic partner or a flashy admirer. It can be anybody they can control or manipulate for their own ego. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your stories. Are there people in your life who fit this pattern? Drop a comment below. If you found this video helpful or thought-provoking, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more content on narcissistic behaviors and toxic relationships. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.